Boa noite, todo mundo. Meu nome é Sean, o diretor de conteúdo e comunicações, e eu vou falar um pouquinho sobre o festival. Esse festival da consciência negra, o festival examina o legado e a necessidade contínua de resistência dos afrodescendentes à opressão sistêmica que nos separou de terras ancestrais, continua a tentar oprimir e deprimir a diáspora até hoje. Esse é um festival que busca entender os porquês e as conexões. Esta é uma oportunidade de se conectar com nossas tradições e o porquê de nossas tradições. O que conectamos certas batidas e ritmos a certos movimentos e danças quase inconscientemente. Meu nome para introduzir também Aquataluxe Rodrigues. Ela vai ser o líder da conversa hoje. Ela é graduada em administração com MBA Gestão de Projetos, criadora de hashtag Negócios da Rainha e hashtag Trocando Ideias no Instagram. Coordenação e expansão do Instituto Plano de Menina, jovem transformadora pela democracia da Fundação Ashoka Brasil, produtora do Festival Percussivo de Mulheres Hakurin Xeré e conselheira do Bloco Afro Olodum, carnavalesca, feminista, militante negra, Aquataluxe.
Boa noite, mundo. Que alegria estar fazendo mais um ano.
I'm glad to be here. One more year of Black Consciousness Festival. This exchange is really great, especially in the Latin Americans, in the countries that speak similar languages, that have the history and similar structures and history of fighting against oppression. So it's an honor to be here, to be conducting this conversation today night. And I don't want to prolong myself because I owe this queen that we have here to present herself, but I want to talk about her, and I want to have the honor of having the same name as her. Virginia Rodrigues, our great singer of a celestial voice, with a trajectory that is necessary of prestigiating Black people inside the world of music, of arts, and she's going to bring whole of trajectory here in this place where us Black women are left aside because we don't have the profile that are recognized by society. And Virginia is apart from that logic. And it's so great to get to know her trajectory. And I want to invite you to present yourself.
Good evening. My name is Virginia Rodrigues. I'm from Salvador, Bahia. I'm not within the way the society wants me to be. I'm not within the ideal conditions the society of Brazil tries to impose on us. Brazil tries to show a descendancy of European descent, and that's not Brazil. That's not the real Brazil. Nowhere in Brazil. But the media in Brazil tries to force this idea, tries to show the world that Brazil is white. And within the musician fields and acting fields and even dancing fields, and this is not the reality. Even if they're writers, theater directors, in any fields in theater, that's the real. Independent of what area of art you do, Black people, Black artists here in Brazil are not recognized in the same way. It's a constant fight that we Brazilians, Black Brazilians have to do. So this is how Brazil is, where the Black artists are seen as less as the other artists in Brazil, because we are not the ideal type of figure for Brazil.
The culture of exploration, right? But for us to understand more of your trajectory, we would like to know when you started, because there's a lot of people in the life of the artist. Me as a producer, for example, they question me. They question how many years of career do you have? It's interesting for you to say.
Sim, agora, né? Sim.
Eu conto a minha carreira do dia que eu subi no palco pela primeira vez para lançar o meu primeiro disco, Sol Negro.
My career, remember the day I released my first album, Sol Negro. It was in 96. I recorded it in 96 and released it in 97. So I have since then of career. My record was played in the radios here in Brazil. I started getting recognition in radio in 97, and the release date was the 1st of June of 97. That's when I started my career. Before that, I began my career in the chorals and I also had training in theater, but I'm not an actress. I'm a singer. I've always wanted to be a singer since I was younger, and that's what I am today.
No one doubts that. You were born for that.
At least that's what I try to do.
You are a majesty of, and in your past, when starting your career, how was it to start your career? And how is the difference from your start and how is it now? How do you see things improving? Do you see things getting worse? How do you see things throughout these 25 years?
Lately, we artists, especially we had to try to adapt to this new reality. I actually began my career with a record label. It's something that I managed to achieve. So my first labels were actually paid by a record label, you know. Sol Negro, Mares Profundos, and Sol Negro were actually paid uh, by record labels.
Sound is off. It's back now.
Foram meus dois últimos discos, Mama Calunga e
My last two albums, Mama Kaluba and Cada Voz Tem Uma Melhor, were made by independent, they were independent records. I did them thanks to cultural initiatives, you know, because the record labels are pretty much pretty much not in the market anymore. So we need cultural incentives. Otherwise, you can't release an album. This change actually made some things better and others not so much. For example, artists that don't have lots of money, they can't do do their work without cultural initiatives, so you can raise the money. For me, it's a bit easier because I already have a story within music here. But for other people, it's become way harder. But in another way, if you have your financial capabilities, you can actually go and record your music and release it yourself into the platforms, and it's actually better. You have more freedom.
You don't think, even though the changes of the format happens, the choices of accessibility, the resources of recording, if they going through the same process of excluding and bringing in profiles that are more closer to whites?
Of that, you shouldn't doubt. This happens.
This year,
mas você que vai ter filho, que é jovem, só se for seus netos aqui.
Maybe your grandchildren will see a change in this behavior. I don't believe we'll see that in this generation.
Even we went through this whole, even though we went through this whole trajectory, this whole path that the contribution that you gave to Brazilian music, you don't think it's possible that we are going to get a CD sponsored? I don't say that through the public institutions, but through business people, because we have a lot of people that are on the pop area that have business people embracing them. Do you not see it's possible as having an album being sponsored? Because the way I see it is that we are able to change the things. So even the people who are younger, is there a way that we can build a new narrative, build a new way? Because sometimes people who consume music, they don't have a lot of notion of how the industry or the music industry works. They only see.
Yeah, people actually don't have an idea of how the industry works.
Yeah.
And today, now you have to pay. For example, if you want your music in the radio, you have to pay. I'm from an era. I'm from an era that didn't happen. I used to call to radio and say, I want to listen to that song, and then they'll play it. People would grab the telephone book, call the radio, and ask for for a particular song. For example, what you hear that Zezé Camargo used to do, that is true, you know. I used to do that.
And there was a popular willingness.
Yes, there used to be a popular outcry for certain artists. But today, people are monopolized by certain songs. I don't do commercial music, for example. So lots of people are alienated to certain types of music, you know. Many people are not interested about looking for different kinds of genre of music. So these radios use that to their advantage, you know. And it's lack of knowledge. For example, I spoke to someone lately. You don't have to like samba, you don't have blues, you don't have to like jazz, but it's important for you to know the difference between them. It is really sad someone not being able to recognize that a song is blues or it's jazz or it's samba or if it's pagode. For example, there are people that are like really young. They really don't understand music at all. But there are people that are even older that are like 30s and something. They don't even know the types of genders of music there is, which is really sad. For example, someone that's 40 not knowing who Lizette Cardoso is really sad. Even a friend of mine met someone like that and was like, in what world do you live? Okay, that someone that's 15 doesn't know who Yvette Cardoso is, but someone that is 40, come on, that is not.
You don't believe that with your singing and you bring out ancestrality and that the new generation can get to know your art because when you listen to you, I connect with Candomblé, for example. That is my religion. It's an ancestral connection. It's a place that brings me some comfort. So thinking about your work as an educational, when you bring out a new album.
My album was released in 2019. But because of the pandemic, my album was kind of, I couldn't actually like release it properly, you know. But what can I say? The only reason I managed to do this album was because of public financial initiatives, you know.
O edital em 2018.
I won the public financial in 2018, actually. I forgot a bit what the question was. I don't remember the question.
We're talking about your singing, your voice.
Ancestry is connected. It's connected within us. it's within our roots. It's within me. I don't do this in like planning it and everything. It's within us. It's part of us. You know. It's in the way I see things. It's in the way I say things. It's something that is really within my roots. It's not something that I try to do. It's within my soul. It's within my veins. It's not something that you plan, you know. I think it's within every black person that does art. It's something that's within me. It's not something that is planned.
Do you think that having this ancestral singing and having this black identity in a place that, in a country that is homophobic, that is racist, was there a time that these were barriers, that if I didn't sing this, then I would be a success. If I didn't sing this, I would win awards. If I didn't sing what I sing.
Look, I don't sing
I don't
anything that's commercial, you know that. Everything that I choose to sing, I choose because of the lyrics. Not even because of the melodies, because of the lyrics. If I was in another genre of music, maybe things would be different. But the path I chose, it's the path that most people don't want, you know. Most people want the commercial way because it's a shorter path. But I didn't choose this path. I don't regret of choosing the path I chose. For example, I have a record that I sing songs with of Chico Buarque, of Linda, of Turan, that talk about love. And that's about it. I have another record that's with Biscuit Films, that the record label that paid for this. It's a record that went all over Brazil, you know. The record that went to the whole of Brazil was Sol Negro, Gora Kalunga. So these are some of my records that are most known.
Do you believe that today you're more recognized outside Brazil because of education or valorization outside that doesn't exist here?
The connection is not very good, but I believe that.
Do you believe you're more valued outside of Brazil? Because outside culturally, this recognition of ancestrality is more valued than inside Brazil?
I believe that I'm better known outside of Brazil because art outside of Brazil is more respected, you know. Like for example, I'm very well known in Europe, but I've never actually been there, you know. And the only place I've been outside of here, Brazil, was Africa. It was only Morocco. let me tell you, the popular music in Brazil is very respected outside of Brazil. So when I traveled, I was very well received in the United States. And the people that received me well were not Brazilians, and they were not black people, they were actually white people, you know. There is people outside Brazil have hunger for culture. They give opportunity to everything. They want to like experiment new cultures.
But here, do you believe that the lack of value of culture, why I'm pressing on this one again and again, because you believe that the culture doesn't, in some stars don't ascend because of the racism.
This we already know. We know that for a black person to actually reach a certain success, it's even harder, way harder than normal, you know. The level of difficulty for a black person to reach success here is really much, much higher. White people here might not even be very talented, and you can actually see that their music is bad, but you'll see that media will like take their hand and try to bring them up, you know. There's some people that are so bad that you even laugh, but the media is there. You know, even some of them are like disappear after some years, but the media is there helping them. You know, bringing them up. But when you're black, especially when you're a black artist, a woman, a black woman, they have to be really, really good. And sometimes when they're really, really, really good, really competent, they can't actually like hide who you are, and they are forced to give you media. They try to show that artist. They try to make them seem whiter. You know, they try to. I forgot the word. They try to.
It's been a long time since I heard that. It's not from your time.
Oh, they try to make the black person a very stereotypical person. You know, the media does this here. They say here the black person has to be nice, has to be smiling all the time. He's like a clown. You know, the media tries to portray that within you. So the fight for us black artists is not the same fight for white people. You know, if you're white, if you have nice straight hair, you go to the media, you can say anything, you do anything, and the media will venerate you. Most of them come from families that are rich families or families that are like upper middle class. And those are the ones that the media tries to raise up. But the thing is, for us to try to change this, we have to be more involved. We have to protest. We have to fight for it. I was actually in a live on Wednesday about black women artists, and we spoke about this topic. What can we do not to accept lesser money than white artists, not don't 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 do projects that you don't believe in. You know, this is the only way. We don't have another way.
But one of the alternatives is being in a block. For example, being going together, going as a block.
But then it's the head of each person. You know, you can't you can't wait for someone else to solve your own problem. You know, you do hard. You have to have an open mind. You can't have a closed mind as an artist. You are an artist that has talents. I also am. I know my value, and you know your value. So if we know there is someone that is hiring me that offers me a really low amount to do something, and I don't accept, and they go to someone else, like you, for
Yeah,
example,
exactly.
and
Too
you
often.
accept it,
All
that
the time.
devalues our work, you know? So the Black artist has to give value to what they do. We Black artists have to give value to our work. You know, we need to create association. We need to organize ourselves.
But you
But I
think it's
don't
not
think we should
interesting?
like
I'm
have
curious
like
now.
a movement only Black artists. You know, like an association of Black artists. I don't agree that would be the solution. Not just me. Some people even on the live I did. He's a dancer. He also agreed. Uh, Unfortunately, I forgot his name on this video.
The
It's,
last name.
he's also against it, you know. I don't see this in good eyes. I think we need to have representation within the societies of music, not just like segregate ourselves within an organization, you know?
That's why the institution exists. It has that objective.
I am from MAP. So this organization has to give me the same support they give a white artist. And that's what's right, you know. So I don't think that creating another association only for Black artists, I don't think it's the right decision, you know. The, the only the only thing that can solve the problem for Black artists is our our pride, you know. So if someone that's trying to hire you tries to give you a low cut, you say, dude, if you don't have money, pay me. Then I'm not going to go, you know. You need to know your value. Okay. You need to put like you need to say what you need in order to do your performance, you know. You have to know your value. You have to demand things that you need, you know.
Yeah.
You need to create your own path, not wait for owners of events to give you value. You need to create your own value, you know. Don't go to projects that don't have visibility with bad structure, bad sound, you know, like really badly organized and everything. That don't do this. You need to value. Just doing this, thinking about that people will like you more because of you're trying to do in any way. That's not true. People will not like you for that. You're actually losing value. They won't. They won't call you for big events.
That speech was the speech of the night because
They only call Black people for
it's
bad
that we
events.
see, and we see that, and it's important for us to fight. We see that they call someone who black, a woman who's black, they call her out to sing. She's going to sing. Why do you want to know about that? Just sing. I need to know what's the transportation, what am I going to eat, and then they say, oh, you need all that. If you're going to hire anyone else, you will need the same resources. So why is it going to be different?
Lots of owner of events actually like trying to offer us less things, and I'm like, dude, do you only like not have money when you're going to call black artists? Because normally when they ask, when they call white artists, they always have the best structures, the best instruments, the best gear. You know, I can actually do this from my own pocket, because sometimes an owner of an event won't give you this, you know. When the project doesn't have a good structure or doesn't have money, I won't do the project, you know. For example, I did an event here that I wanted to call Susanna Park and Benegão and another artist. I didn't call her because I didn't have the money. I value her work, so I didn't call her because I didn't have the money to bring her, you know. So I didn't do it. If you don't have money, don't do the project. You shouldn't try to like get things for free from artists.
There's no
That's not
way.
right.
Yeah.
That's why our black artists, we need to value ourselves. Black artists need to have courage. What's missing in black artists are confidence and know how to value themselves. They need confidence and to value themselves.
And I also believe that despite those two things, and been seeing this and been living this, and that it has to do with the opportunities to be in places. As a producer, as being a woman, I say, you're a producer, but you're not a dancer, you're not a ballerine.
If you're a black woman, people don't believe, don't say that you are you are not like a renowned dancer, for example. They don't believe that you can be a product manager. You can be an assistant manager, but they don't believe you can be a product manager.
That I've been going through. And it's often that place of not having credibility because they don't know our work. They don't even want to hear. So even other producers or my colleagues are black, but they are inside that little group that I'm going to invite Virginia because I am a friend of her producer. So we stay on this bubble. And if you imagine how many talents that are not shown, even especially here in the Northeast, people have to go out of the Northeast to come to São Paulo just to be seen.
Look, I believe we do.
A arte para mim é coisa para ser feita no mundo. Eu não coisa nessa coisa.
Art for me is something that you have to do for the world. I'm not the person that's original. When I think about art, I think about the world. For example, in Bahia, it's the place I do the last shows, you know. The last show I did in Bahia was the 2nd of August in 2019. my product manager the last time got hotel, the hotel got everything that we needed, you know, the gear, the best staff, you know. So if we're an event manager, if an event manager wants to call me here in Bahia, they have to pay the value that I am, you know. I want to know who's going to work on it. Who's the sound technician? Who's behind the stage, you know? But it has to be, for example, if the event has a sound technician, has to be in the same level as my sound technician, you know? Otherwise, I won't do it. You can't have, you can't be ashamed of being black, you know? And I've been valuing myself all this time, and I've been doing my events, you know. Some events only remember Virginia Rodrigues when they want to do something that doesn't have enough money to do it. And some people take a long time to actually start valuing themselves, but there takes a time, but there will be a time that you notice that you have your value and you respect it.
We are going to finish just now, but I wanted you to give a message to all the young artists, the young singers that are watching our live, and see you as an inspiration and see you as the right path. I think a tip is not the right word, but
I can give
message.
To new artists is that you do. Art is creation. You know, don't try to copy anyone. This doesn't make your art bigger. You know, it only diminishes it. I see lots of artists that do that, only copying other people, you know. For example, I'm not a I don't compose my own songs, you know, but I'm only an interpreter. But sometimes I get songs that almost already exist, you know, and those I just delete. I don't copy anything from any other people. If you're not a good songwriter, you know, go and get people to work on that for you, you know. And sometimes you try to force it, try to write your own songs, and you don't have as much quality as you'd like. For example, sometimes you can be a very good songwriter, but you're not a very good melody creator. So sometimes you can have an idea and give it to someone that has a good sense of melody, and they'll create a better work together with you. It's not because you know how to sing that you have to know how to write a song, how to create a beat. People want to be everything, you know. People want to be Chico Buarque, people want to be Gilberto Gil. It's not every day that a Gilberto Gil is born, you know. Someone that is like multi-talented, you know. That's not something that is common.
Aí tem gente que fala assim,
this is not something that happens every day. It's not everyone that can do this. Gil does this because he's really, really good. For example, Gil is very good at everything, and he's also a great entertainer. I'm talking about Gil, Milton Nascimento. I'm talking about, you know, a great, amazing black artist. artists, you know. We need to give value to our fellow Black artists. Here in my first Black Conscious Festival, I'm going to give value to my people.
Mama Calunga e cada voz é uma mulher.
Also, my production manager, you know, somebody created a record with only Black women, you know, only women actually. But not everyone is born a great songwriter, a great beat maker, you know. It's people, it's very small people, few people, you know, like Gil, Paulinho da Viola. I was listening to a song that's really beautiful these days. A song that I've already put. I'm trying to remember the song. I saw his song this week, really beautiful song. Candeia, Candeia, the name of the song.
Das meninas. A senhora está citando o quê? Assim?
Das meninas, tem Lued Luna.
From the woman, the new artist, woman artist, there's like woman that I actually helped her record. Yala Renault.
I'm going to challenge you some new things that you haven't heard.
I haven't heard any of your work yet.
I'm going to send for the girls as well.
And I'll listen to it. I'll listen. I need to learn. For example, I don't know how to songwrite, you know, and I try to songwrite, you know. It's not something that I do, you know. I'm not a songwriter. There's lots of people writing like silly things, trying to copy Regina Duarte and people like that. I don't want to do this.
Do you consider yourself an artist who's accessible for new composers? So I have this song for you.
I'm going to be very honest. I'm not very open. I'm not very like. I've always recorded with songwriters next to me. With male ones as well. The first time I went
saw
out
yourself
to
in that play.
So,
It's amazing. I'm going to stay right by your side now.
I'm willing to take in some. For example, I've already recorded Sueli Costa and Dolores Durano on my record Recommence. But there was something really new for me, you know.
Eu já tinha gravado essas duas mulheres, mas
I've already recorded. I have only recorded these two women, you know.
You went to record Mayara Andrade.
Yes, I recorded with Mayara.
You recorded Lued Luna. Who else?
With lots of women, you know. I recorded with lots of women due to this project. But this was something new for me, you know. I recorded Rosa Passos, Dona Coreana, but it was something that was outside of my comfort zone. Yeah, and this project was something that gave me new horizon.
So notice as a Black woman that we have something in our roots that we have to work on. Music brings about
I
that.
believe that the songwriters that have always worked with me, I've always used to work with the same people, you know. And this project gave me an opportunity to work with new people, and this was really cool.
lembrando de músicas que eu sei que já...
I like to listen to new songs. I like to compare to other songs. And for example, I've once like analyzed a song that someone wrote for me, and looked like a song from João Camille. And I'm not going to record a song that sounds like and looks like a sound of someone else.
It makes more sense. I want to thank you so much, the honor and the privilege to be here with you. We don't know each other personally, but I want to go there and ask for your blessing.
Não, eu sou baiana, mas eu vou muito a São Paulo. Não estou indo por conta da pandemia, mas vou muito a São Paulo.
Sim.
Eu canto muito.
Quando tiver...
I'm from Bahia, but I go to São Paulo a lot. I'm not going
when you're here, I want to find you here. I want to ask for a blessing. I'm here for a short while now. I was living in Salvador. I just got here in Pelourinho in Salvador. I went to some shows that you did in Salvador.
Where is in Salvador?
It was one of Olodum.
Me here?
It was Brazilian, Teatro Nacional.
It's the day I did my show and I participated with Olodum with one song. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yes. In Brazilian. Okay.
Exactly. I was there watching.
The only years
I just
didn't
got
sing
here
in
to
São Paulo
was just
2020,
like months.
because of the 2021 because of the pandemic.
This year now, São Paulo called me and I came here and working with producing. You have to have other professions, other arts.
Art is for you to live. It's not for you to be stuck within a place. Some people think of art as something that's regional, but art is international. Art is not from São Paulo, it's not from Bahia, it's not
made for everyone.
any particular place. It's for the world. For me, you shouldn't do art that is totally rooted to only one place.
It's a good way of
doing that because
putting it.
It didn't work, you know. I didn't start my career thinking about, oh, I'm going to be an artist only from this place. No, I created my art for the world. Maybe sometimes you can stop in a place, live in a place, create roots in a place for some time, but it shouldn't be creating art only for that place. You understand?
Porque a arte me levou, a pressão já me levou para tantos lugares e muitas pessoas falavam assim, essa menina tá andando demais. E eu dizia isso, eu falei, cara, a gente não pode ficar parado, não é isso.
Aí você diz, quando a pessoa disser que a menina tá andando demais, você diz, beijo a Deus.
When someone says that you're working too much, you say, thank God. You say, thank God.
Yeah, that we can keep on walking.
When people say to leave Bahia to sing is very complicated. I was in the airport. But I actually thought that person is like, it's only hard because I'm black. Because for white people, it's not that hard.
They have even jets.
But us that are black need to stay in Bahia to be enslaved, to be humiliated, No, that's not how it works.
Benza
That's
Deus.
that's why when someone told me this, I thought, thank God I can get out of Bahia to work. So it wasn't something that was usual for that person that was asking me that,
It
you
was
know? It
great.
was something that made them uncomfortable, you know? So you shouldn't like try to do like performances to only get like
Queen,
200 reais.
you
That's not
gave me the
valuing your
night. It
work.
was a Friday of Black consciousness that we really wanted to do a live with you. It was an honor having you here.
Uh, the black artist needs to fight, needs to keep on fighting. All you young artists, you need to fight. You can't allow people to take advantage of you, you know. When you do small shows, you should do it for yourself, not for someone else.
We'll close the night with an amazing way. That was fun. It's
If you
certain.
don't value yourself,
Sean, I
no one
want
will
to call
respect your
you
art.
to have a collective hug, a virtual collective hug here, because I really want to thank Trinidad and Tobago for this amazing invite, for the connection that we're having here, and the connection that we're having between Trinidad and Tobago and Brazil here. And I think their next step is to be there personally. Uh, well, we can be here in
I
Brazil, we can be
really
there
want
in Trinidad and Tobago,
to get
and we
back
want to
to
go
the
back to the
stage, you know.
stage.
I really want to
I
get
want
on
really
stage
want to
and play
see.
number with you.
Where do you have a schedule?
She actually made a sound for me. I'm really looking forward to singing with her in her country.
Your your head is amazing. You're still doing fine. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the share. So my blessings to you in this month of Black consciousness, that we can have a year that is lighter, that is less lives, women that are more empowered, Black women that are more empowered, and you're most certainly a big queen. And thank you so much for your
Thank you very
existence, for your
much.
voice, for your elegance, for accepting the invites. I got emotional here.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I am going to ask everyone to please get vaccinated, you know, and live the day of Black conscience that is tomorrow in Brazil.
Salve Dandara, salve Zumbi, Virginia Rodriguez, in this night of Hoshala that guide us. Everything great to you. Salve, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you so much.